Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Unity Clear Lake Center for Sunday, October 18th. Always have to think about the date. Thank you again for joining us this morning. And today we are going to be doing our third lesson in The Universe Always Has a Plan. And this is chapters 5 and 6. Well-being is a signal that you are ready to embody your potential, and the universe always has a plan. There's always an existence of well-being within us, whether we're aware of it or not. And that sense of well-being can actually be a motivating force to assist us in our desire to know and truly be one with God. In this chapter 5, Matt shared a time when he was at a school assembly in December and the song, "Do You Hear What I Hear?" began to be sung. He said it literally felt like the ceiling had opened up and heaven's kingdom was inviting him home. He wrote that he left the auditorium as quickly as he could and that tears were streaming down his face. There was this intensity of energy that was coming into him, and that intensity was this deep, deep desire to just be one with God. What he realized years later was that experience was the inherent well-being of his true nature beginning to awaken within him. Now, this process would actually intensify as he moved into adulthood. And he said that as that began to happen, as he matured, that the well-being of universal truth would actually go into every single hiding place of fear and reconstruct everything within him so that nothing but this high spiritual potential would remain within him. He wrote that his deepest desire had been to know and be one with the will of God. So here he was in 5th grade having this powerful spiritual event happening. And he realized later that he actually had been praying for that connection with God all of his life up to that point. So no matter why you're being called to go inward and discover your own unique place in the universe, it's this knowingness of the well-being within you that awakens this spiritual aspect of connection. And it doesn't matter what the circumstances or stresses of your life. So in this 5th chapter, it reminds us that well-being is a signal that you are ready to embody your potential. And the basis is the more often you recognize the well-being within you, you're actually saying to the universe, I am aware of what is already right, perfect, and whole within me. If you can become aware of what is right, perfect, and whole inside of you right now, then you can see what's right, perfect, and whole in the universe. Even though in our humanity, we gain things, lose things, get things destroyed. And then there's always a renewal of energy all around us. Sometimes, because of what we do view around us, it's hard for us to remember that we are already perfect, whole, and complete. Beautiful. Because of the well-being, you are free to notice. And this acts as your proof. When you affirm that perfection and well-being is within you, it tells the universe that you have the worthiness and the emotional ability to receive more blessings in your life. So let's talk about well-being for a moment. I want to reiterate a statement I made the last time that I spoke. I was talking about chapter 4 of the book, Feeling Better Helps Everyone Heal. Now, remember, we'd already spoken about being in a state of forgiveness, saying thank you to everyone and everything, no matter what the situation, and being in gratitude for everything in your life. All of this was because you finally came to the point of understanding that the universe was presenting everything in your path for you to let go of the ego and move to a higher state of loving. In that chapter, Matt wrote, when you're a conscious being, everything you encounter has been created to make you more conscious. Since you're already waking up, all life can do is wake you up further. And in order to do so, all life has to decide is what combination of characters, outcomes, situations, and circumstances you require in order for your light to shine at full capacity. In every breath, that's what life is doing. So when you really look at the wisdom of that chapter, Feeling Better Helps Everyone Heal, you're actually cultivating the attribute of trust. If you trust that your happiness is a service to others, your well-being will be an agent of change, a catalyst of growth that helps everyone heal. Daring to feel good about the uniqueness and innocence of others helps those who feel bad to accelerate their healing. So when we can fully understand that the universe truly is creating encounters for you to make you more conscious, that's when you actually begin to relax. That's when you can go out of fear. That's when you can be more peaceful. That's when you can actually start laughing at life. And when Matt wrote that you're actually cultivating an attitude of trust, then you really do have trust in the universal source that has only one thing it wants to do. And that one thing is to help you grow to be the fullness of the light on this earth. That's it. But there's so much we have to let go of and begin to understand in order to let that light shine. And of course, as I said last time, Matt doesn't want us to hide our light. It's only when we let our light shine that the world can heal. And of course, he says that this fountain of well-being that exists within you, it exists as the very breath you breathe. Matt wrote that as you breathe in, you are taking in the light of existence, cleansing, purifying, and nourishing all aspects of your being. And with each out breath, all the light you've taken in goes out into the world for the healing, awakening, and well-being of every heart. So whether we know it or not, we're always breathing this light in and out. The question is, why don't we always feel the well-being if that's what this well-being is? So he wrote that it's because your breath is only giving you the experience of your awareness of what the breath is at that moment in time. If you think that your breath is just the thing that's keeping you alive, then that becomes the extent of your breathing experience. So the more you become aware of what the breath actually is, which is the living evidence of light within you, then the more every single breath provides you with the well-being that, as Matt writes, becomes the contribution of expansion the world was destined to receive. He wrote that when you're aware of your breath as the infinite light of source energy, then every breath is given permission to heal your being. And when you are aware of the breath at that level, you are more aligned with it on a regular basis. When you're more aligned with your breath, then your thoughts become manifestations of aligned breathing, creating viewpoints, perceptions, and very definitely inspired ideas as harmonious, clear, and positive as the light you breathe. So Matt wrote, take as many moments as you can to align with your breath to allow the greater miracles of life to unfold on your behalf. No matter what kind of life you lead, if you want to improve the possibilities of your reality, then deepen the relationship with your breath as the light of source. Each one of us is a co-creator of reality. It's co-created by the power of your breath. So the more aligned you are with your breath, the better and the safer the world is to inhabit. So just keep being aware of what your breath actually is, that living evidence of light within you. And that's all you have to think about when you breathe. I'm breathing in the light of source energy. I'm breathing it out to help the world. So with an in-breath, I'm breathing in the light of source energy. And with every out-breath, I'm breathing it out to help heal the world. And remember what I just said, that when you're aware of your breath as the infinite light of source energy, then every breath is given permission to heal your being. So with every breath taken like this, you're actually healing yourself. You're healing your own personal world, your situations, finances, relationships. You're healing everything about you. And all you have to do is be aware that we're breathing in and out the light of source energy. In the Course of Love, there's a statement that reads, I dedicate all thoughts to union. The Saint Germain works state, I dedicate all thoughts to union with the one source God. If we were to be fully conscious as often as possible of our breath, and that we are breathing in the light of source, then we are holding all thought at those moments of time with our one source God. Joel Goldsmith once wrote that whatever we are thinking about at any moment of time is where our consciousness is. Where our consciousness is telling us what our state of consciousness is. And our state of consciousness dictates how easily we will move through barriers to fully feeling the oneness with God. It dictates how quickly we will see a change in our personal environment, our health, our wealth, our joy, our peace, and so on. When we can hold thought of God or think about our breathing as bringing the light of God into us, or just thinking about our being the light of God on this planet, then we are actually allowing the universe to work its higher plan for us in our lives. In chapter 6, actually called The Universe Always Has a Plan, Matt talks about what gets in our way of knowing what the universe has planned for. And he says it's something called time. That we often have the dilemma of everything you want seeming so far away Well, at the same time, you're unable to get away from the things you don't want to experience. So you may actually be asking the question, why do I get more time with the things I don't want and so little time with the things I do want? And Matt writes that it's through the gift of time that you're able to measure how much or how little ego remains by how often disharmony arises in your experience. We may want to ask ourselves, how easily can I be frustrated? How impatient can I be? Matt writes that these questions help you to determine the type of relationship you actually have with time. That once your relationship with time is centered in true harmony, then you are given access to understanding reality as a co-creative process. Understanding the law of attraction from a heart-centered perspective is a chance to say this. I accept that my desire confirms that what I want is somehow up ahead waiting for me. I acknowledge my desire is a preview that I'm being prepared to receive. Perhaps the reason that I don't have what I want right now is because I'm developing the worthiness to handle having it. Thank you, universe, for this time to prepare as I open up to being a more worthy receiver. Thank you for the gift of time. With the dimension of time, you're actually preparing to receive at a higher spiritual level by cultivating maturity and a worthiness to actually have what you want without slowing down your constant spiritual expansion. Because you know, if you got what you wanted at the wrong time, it would actually stunt your spiritual growth by distracting you with all those beautiful, shiny new objects that we really want in our lives. The universe wants to give you what you want, but in a way that complements and continues your rate of spiritual expansion. This is why everything happens over a period of time. With time, you're always receiving all that you need to help you transform at your most optimal capacity. There's actually a certain amount of time that you're meant to spend under specific personal conditions with various states of consciousness. By being at certain levels of consciousness for specific periods of time, you actually build up the necessary pressure to inspire the growth and expansion needed to guide you along to your next highest level of consciousness. You know, for years we have read and talked about the law of attraction. And in this chapter, Matt writes that the law of attraction means the law. The law means the truth that is never false. He writes, the law of attraction is you are always attracting exactly what you need to become who you were born to be. Whether you have manifested everything you wanted or are still waiting for the payout, there is an amazing discovery to uncover. So I'm going to ask you just to close your eyes for a moment and repeat these words to yourself. If at this moment I had everything I ever wanted, I'd feel exactly the same as I do right now. If at this moment I had everything I ever wanted, I'd feel exactly the same as I do right now. You see, once you understand that statement, then you'll get it, that it's not new people, places, or things that are going to help you change how you feel. In the new spiritual paradigm, your feelings change as healing occurs, which unfolds when you allow yourself to heal openly and authentically. And as you allow the universe to hold the vision of life's greatest plan, you're actually strengthening the attribute of faith. Faith is a willingness to let go of making peace with time. He writes that it is relaxing, unpacking your bags, turning wherever you are into a home. It's saying that everything is okay. The soul already knows that everything is okay, whether you have what you want or not. It's being right where you are, in whatever condition you find yourself, and allowing the universe to use whatever is around you to bring you to a more loving space. But understand that if you are in any type of a violent situation, this does not hold. You are to get out of that situation, find yourself a place to be, and then begin the process of taking this in. These words do not mean that you stay and be abused for any reason whatsoever. It's about moving out of abuse and into the universal love of the Christ of Source. But as we're using this law of attraction, the challenge is we've heard so much about the law of attraction that we try to use it to bring in what we desire in life. But what if the plan the universe has for you is so extraordinary, so miraculous, so unthinkably precise that it is way beyond your ability to visualize in any way, shape, or form? What if the reason you can't envision what you want or why you don't know what you desire is because everything that's already coming your way is beyond your wildest imagination? When we learn to let go, it's actually asking us to go to that place, the place of the unknown for your life. It's the place outside of some outcome or conclusion that we have made in our own minds. Matt talks about going beyond the law of attraction. But in order to venture beyond it, you must explore the highest way of understanding the co-creative process. He writes that co-creation is the marriage between destiny and free will. Destiny knows everything is meant to be, while free will understands the unique journey you're exploring in order to fulfill your destiny. And it's based on the freedom from options available to you. It's not one way or the other. It's a marriage of both, intertwined as one. And from the soul's perspective, whether the pictures we hold in mind for our visualization actually match the outcomes you are attracting or not, it rejoices in the grace of universal magic that will always help you feel the exact emotions you desire. Even if the very things you don't want show up, or the very things you do want don't show up, the soul thanks the universe for helping to loosen the grip of personal attachment. You may not immediately get what you want, but you will always get what you actually need, whether to help you through one of ego's core limiting beliefs or to inspire a series of emotional reactions that would have otherwise stayed dormant or unhealed. When you're aligned with your soul, you create a harmonious relationship with, and this type of harmony is called being in the flow. Whether your ego tends to crave outcomes that are always far, far off in the distance, or your soul inspires you to only want the things that are unfolding before you, you are always on a trajectory to feeling the way you desire throughout the universe's plan. It may not be the news your ego wants to hear, but it could only be the exact wisdom that you need. Settling in, relaxing, looking only to source for all things brings you a happiness beyond what you can imagine. It's what your soul desires. So I'm going to ask us to take this into a time of meditation. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes, settle in, and take a nice deep breath in and out. And now, as you breathe in, I am taking in the light of existence, cleansing, purifying, and nourishing all aspects of my being. And as I breathe out, all the light I've taken in goes out into the world for the healing, awakening, and well-being of every heart. Breathing in, I am taking in the light of existence, cleansing, purifying, and nourishing all aspects of my being. As I breathe out, all the light I've taken in goes out into the world for the healing, awakening, and well-being of every heart. And one last time, as I breathe in, I am taking in the light of existence, cleansing, purifying, nourishing all aspects of my being. And with every out breath, all the light I've taken in goes out into the world for the healing, awakening, and well-being of every heart. And when you're ready, you can just open your eyes. From my heart to your heart, I want to thank you for being with us today and listening to this message. And of course, you can listen to it anytime you so choose to do so. And from all my heart, I love you, I bless you, I appreciate you, and I behold the Christ in you. Namaste, everyone. God bless. Have a beautiful rest of your day.